छिड़खानियां है मिट्टी मिट्टी तेरी साडे दिल नू लगे शैतानियां है.
Oh, nice. Thank you so much, Nikhita Gandhi. Welcome to CNN News 18.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, you got a good start to the year with 3 songs already topping the charts. These songs are, of course, Tere Pyaar Mein, Munda Sona and Chhidkaniyan. Now, I want to start with a simple question. Is singing really that simple and easy, or is it a lot of hard work?
I think it's both.
Yeah.
I think it's hard work made simple and easy. I think that's the best way to answer it, because it looks simple. I think when people see our lives, it seems to them it's very, easy. Look at them, they just enjoy, they entertain people, they sing for a living. But there's so much discipline that we have to create in our lives. There's so much, I pulled an all-nighter and I'm here today with you because I was shooting all night. Yeah. And then so one day, your health can go for a toss, your schedules are all over the place. So it's a lot of hard work to your body, to your mind, to your soul. And at the same time, you got to make it look effortless.
Sure. The other big track that you're part of is the song called Tere Pyaar Mein, which is from the film Tu Jhoothi Main Makkar. This sounds like the true audience puller.
Yeah.
And you, of course, are a constant or a frequent collaborator with Pritam da.
Yes.
Who also thinks in Bengali. You have grown up in Kolkata. Do you think working with Pritam is like homecoming? Do you also converse with him in Bengali?
Yes, I do. In fact, that's a funny story. First time I met him, I had sung a few scratches at his studio, and then we suddenly met in the corridor. And so I spoke to him in Bengali, ki dada kemon acho. So he went white. He was like, he looked like he saw a ghost. And he's like, what are you speaking in Bengali? I thought you're a foreigner. He thought I was a foreigner for some reason because I sing in a very Angrez way. So it was hilarious that was his impression of me. But yes, to answer your question, it does feel like I've come full circle somehow, and it's like a fresh post-pandemic start in a way, because I started my Bollywood career with Rabta, with Pritam da, and here we are again with 3 back-to-back songs of his.
Now, Nikhita, you've been a champion of dance tracks. Even the one from Varisu is a dance number.
Right, yeah.
Is that your comfort zone? And do you think now you would like to step out from your comfort zone?
I don't think it's my comfort zone. I think my voice is such that people like having me on dance numbers and dance records. But I have sung a lot of ballads. Kafirana is one such example, and so many other songs. Even Chhedkaniyan is technically a very melodic song. So, it's... I think it's just that people like me on such records, but I think that all of it is fun for me. I love singing ballads, I love singing slow songs. I love doing all of it. There's no partiality.
Do you think there's a creative bankruptcy in the music world today, especially in Bollywood, where old songs are recreated, or maybe a lack of trust between the composers and the filmmakers?
I actually have a different approach, a different perspective to this. Statistically also, if you see the amount of music that released maybe 5 years ago, say if 1,000 songs released a day, like 10 years back or 5 years back, now there are 60,000 songs releasing a day. I'm just giving you like a ballpark. I'm not, these are not actual stats, but this is the comparison.
Yeah.
So I think the sheer volume of music is so much that it seems like, and of course, a lot of the remakes are marketed more than the others. But I would disagree that there's creative bankruptcy, because I really feel that there's some amazing music out there. Maybe it gets lost. Maybe it doesn't get as much marketing, which is why it doesn't make it to a large number of people. And also, we also live in a world where the attention span is getting smaller and smaller. For an audience like that, to consume all that larger volume of music results in you just hearing less of what you maybe want to hear and more of maybe what you don't want to hear.
But do you think today younger generation is embracing these recreated songs, or they're willing to listen to something new?
I think it's... So the psychology with, I think, with remakes in general is that the familiarity breeds comfort, right? So you feel like... So I think one tends to listen to that more because you can sing along already.
You're familiar with the tune.
So that, I think that is the formula which remixes sort of survive on and thrive on. And so yeah, maybe that from that perspective, from a very psychological perspective, you'd tend to listen to something you've heard before.
Would you please like to give us few lines of the song Tere Pyaar Mein, which is being, I think, gonna be an audience fuller.
Yeah, I mean, to me it feels like I see it being sort of exploding like how Jugnu exploded last year, because even that song was being sort of reeled by every actor, every celebrity, and that same thing is happening with Tere Pyaar Mein. Fakat ye nahi jana जिस्मों की दिल लगी हवाले तेरे कर दी है अब जिंदगी तेरे प्यार में दिल चाहता बस भीगे भीगे भीगे.
How cool. What a lovely voice you have. Yeah. You've been a singer for close to a decade now.
Yeah.
What is your approach to feedback? I mean, do you read comments online, or whom do you look at for the feedback, for a meaningful feedback, for improvement?
I try not to actually read the comments because there's a lot of trolls out there. But I think what I measure the success or the growth of the music that I'm doing by those slightly more longish, well-constructed messages that sometimes creep into my DMs, which, sometimes you get I've gotten a message saying, this song of yours, I've listened to it on loop and it's gotten me through this time. And there's when you get those messages, I feel like I measure my, metric through that, because I feel that that's when
good.
you have created quality music. I think as long as you have felt like you've given your 100% and you've tried your best, that should be it.
Nikhita, Sonu Nigam and the members of his team suffered few injuries at a concert.
I heard about that recently.
When a scuffle broke out, when one of the organizers' son tried to take a selfie. Does that worry you? And do you feel vulnerable when you perform on stage?
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
There have been performances also where I've, sort of been you give everybody high fives or fist bumps and you kind of get grabbed by the hand, and I've almost fallen off the stage a few times. So that does happen. Sometimes, people are also excited, they're jumping, and they also don't realize that it's a little risky or dangerous. It's a very weird spot to be in because, you don't want, people are there to watch you, to have a great time, to experience an artist. So you want to give them that experience. You want them to feel that love and that energy and that high of being in a concert. But at the same time, yes, there are these, I think, security / just general hygiene measures that should be maintained in concerts to avoid accidents, injuries, medical problems, and so many things. And it can be either way, right? I mean, today it was the artist, tomorrow it could be somebody in the audience also, suffering an injury, or because there have been so many shows that I have been in where people have broken down barricades, and because everyone's in this rowdy sort of space of mind. So it is dangerous, and I just feel like having a good security measure is probably the only way you can prevent it.
With the type of repertoire you are one of the multilinguistic vocalists that we have, who's been singing some of the biggest chart busters. Do you think it is important for a singer to be seen and get close to her fans more regularly, maybe by appearing on a music reality show, and connect with the audience that loves you so much and wants to know more about you?
Yeah, I think building face value of a singer is very important, especially in an industry like in the Indian film industry, where music is playback oriented. Like in most other parts of the world, the music industry is very different from the film industry, and they sometimes overlap. But in India, it's very much a part of the film industry, and which is why most of the people don't know their singers.
Yeah.
So I think it is very important. I don't know about reality shows or that is a whole other conversation. But I think in general, I don't know how that comes across. I think when we promote film music, singers should be, sort of
Be there.
present at these promotions and interviewed, because they are the voices that are being heard on the screen. So I think that building that connection with the audience is important. Yeah.
Would you please like to give us few lines of Burj Khalifa?
Oh yeah, hot mere banner nee, chap de mere banner nee, look to jealous kar diye, Kylie Jenner nee. मेरे हुस्न दे चर्चे चर्चे, मेरे हुस्न दे चर्चे चर्चे, लंदन टू अमेरिका, मुंडे आ दिला दे मैनू बुर्ज खलीफा, ओ मैनू बुर्ज खलीफा, हाँ मैनू बुर्ज खलीफा, मैनू बुर्ज खलीफा.
How cool, how nice. Nikhita, with this rise of indie music, how do you see the future of film music versus independent music now?
I think future is strong for both, but it's exciting, I think, more for the independent journey, because that was not a very strong industry, a few years back, and we're seeing a lot of artists emerging independent of the film industry, who are famous for their own music, who have their own following, their own audience, and a lot of credit goes to the Punjabi industry, who have, I think, killed it when it comes to, making stars that have nothing to do with Bollywood or cinema.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's reversed. Like, a lot of them are acting now, in films. And I love that. I love that boundaries are being broken and people are trying new things. And it's becoming more like the West, which is awesome.
Do you keep the actress in mind while singing a song?
Well, a lot of the times I don't get to know who the actress is while singing the song, so maybe not always. In Rapta's case, I was briefed that it was Deepika, and we went back and forth with how to deliver the song and this and that. So it depends on the song.
You've been touring a lot from last November, December, and you were jet setting across the country for your concerts. Which are some of the uncommon songs that you enjoy singing for your fans? Songs which you can say are very personal to you.
A lot of people, they tell me about a song I sang in this film called Jab Harry Met Sejal, called Ghar, which connected with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And even though it's not as famous as a lot of my other songs, it's very close to my heart. Like, it's one of my favorite compositions of Pritam da, and I've sung it with Mohit Chauhan. It's a beautiful song. So stuff like this, when I get the request, it's like a breath of fresh air for me.
And please give us a few lines of Ghar.
खाली है जो तेरे बिना, मैं वो घर हूँ तेरा, खाली है जो तेरे बिना, मैं वो घर हूँ तेरा, घूमे फिरे तू चाहे सब शहर, तू है मेरा, खाली है जो तेरे बिना, मैं वो घर हूँ तेरा, खाली है जो तेरे बिना, मैं वो घर हूँ तेरा.
Wow, what a lovely song. There are songs which you must have recorded maybe a few months ago or a year ago, and they are now being released.
Right.
What type of connection do you have with those songs? Because your mind or heart must be present in the song that you are currently recording.
No, I mean, for example, I remember I sang a song in the film, I was going to say Tu Jhoothi Mein Makkar also, of course, and also Almost Pyar with DJ Mohabbat, the Anurag Kashyap film that just released. So I'd sung a song called Banjare in that. And ever since I've heard the song, like a year ago at Amit Trivedi's studio, when I'd first recorded it, I fell in love with the song. Like, it was such a cool track. And I was obsessed. You know, some songs, they just don't leave your mind. Like even days later, months later, it would somehow like trickle back in my brain. And so every time I would meet Amit, I would ask him, when is the song releasing? Is the song releasing? Is it still there? You know, all of that. So sometimes you can't help yourself. You get excited.
Some songs do that.
Yeah, some songs do that, yeah.
Now you have a Tiger 3 coming up later this year.
Oh, yeah.
You are a multilinguistic singer. Which language do you think you're most comfortable with apart from Hindi?
Well, Bengali, since I speak Bengali, I'm half Bengali. So yeah, definitely Bengali is a language I'm comfortable in. And I do sing a lot in the Bangla film industry as well.
Now, you know, you learned music at A.R. Rahman's Music Conservatory.
Yeah, I did a part-time course there.
Can you read music sheets?
Yes, but very poorly. But I can. I did study music theory and we did learn sight reading and all of that. It's like, like you have, it's called staff notation. So basically where visually, I think the easiest way to explain it is that, you know, when you draw something lower in the set of bars, then it's a lower note, like visually how you would see it on a piano. I think the best representation would be the piano, and then as you go, if you've made a whole note or a half note higher up, then it's a higher note. So it's kind of divided like that. It's very similar to actually the Hindustani way, where you have sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa and you have do re mi fa sol la ti do, and so in the Western classical it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then back to A. It's the same number of intervals. It's just that it's represented visually on lines, and it's actually quite, like fun. I can see a lot of notations behind you.
Yeah. Even behind you as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I was part of this vocal jazz group also, where, in the initial days, we were learning our parts because it was divided into like four parts, sometimes 8-part harmonies, and we were reading our parts and learning it. So that was really cool. I really missed that actually, because I think reading music is something that if you stop doing it, you'll get rusty and you have to keep, like now when I write on a piece of paper, I'm like, oh, this is my handwriting. It's kind of like that.
But do each note means a different sound? Is that how it is?
Yeah, so like each position on the staff, the lines, the ledger lines is sort of representative of, say, if you have it between, so it's like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then each of them represents, and then also you have whole note, half note, quarter notes.
Yeah.
They all have different shapes, like a whole note is like a hollow circle, and then a full circle is, so like that you have, so then whole note means it basically describes a duration. A half note is half its duration. So then that's how you measure those sort of sounds over, like how would you like sing it, like instead of sa like division of notes. So it's very like visual reading music.
Very enlightening. Thank you so much. Looking forward to many more soundtracks and chartbusters from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Best of luck.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And may I please request you to give us maybe a medley of your songs of
medley.
Telugu and Tamil for your Tamil and Telugu fans as well.
I don't know if I can squash that into a medley. I will.
Or a Bengali and Hindi, since that's the language.
I can try that.
Yeah,
I can try
please.
that. I'll try. Shunene amar hata hati amar pori pati bhoy bhoy shunene गोदी में पहाड़ियों की उजली दोपहरी गुजारना हाय हाय तेरे साथ में अच्छा लगे संग चल रहे हैं धूप के किनारे छाँव की तरह काफिराना सा है इश्क है या क्या है?
Oh, cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.